With sports finally starting to return, I spoke to a couple of student athletes in the Boston area about the adjustments they've had to make so far. Ramon Jimenez is a baseball player at Boston College, and he took some time to talk about the adjustments it has taken in getting ready for the season in this COVID world.
Early in the fall, we had to settle with individuals. We didn't have any team stuff.
Regardless of the limited team activities, Jimenez is still confident in his team's ability this season.
We have a chance to do something special. We got a good group of guys, and we think we have a chance to make it pretty far this season. So we hope we get to play.
From Division I to Division III, everyone has to adapt in some way. I spoke with Brendan Molson, a member of Suffolk University's basketball team, about some of the obstacles he has faced so far.
Mentally, usually have a coach there, and season's already usually started October 15th, and, you're starting to train, you're starting to, get your endurance up, starting to get ready for, game-like situations. And now, if I want to get in shape and keep my endurance, it's basically all on me. There's nobody telling me, go out and get a run in. So it's really all on me. I think that's the biggest difference.
With rising COVID cases and other conferences in the Northeast canceling winter sports, Molson is unsure whether or not he'll have a senior season for basketball. For SU News, I'm Chris Lewa. With art galleries closed for the foreseeable future due to COVID-19, I'll tell you one artist story about how he's compromising right here on the Charles River. The ongoing pandemic has prevented many artists from sharing their work, but the man behind these paintings, Cambridge artist Lloyd Williams, found a new way to showcase his skills.
Out here in the Esplanade, I've been doing it since June, about 5 months. So I go to the Cambridge Parkway, and also down by Cambridge side, the gallery. The mall down by Leechmere, and that's been very good too. And also I've done a few days in Copley Square.
Williams says his father taught him how to paint as a kid, and in 1986 he started his business, Boston Custom Cards. Since he has lived in Boston for a long time, much of his work is tied to the city.
I'm into architecture, and also Boston's a very a historical city. So I like all the old landmarks in Boston, like the Citgo sign, and also Trinity Church and things like that. The spires at Harvard. So I like to draw them in a not a traditional way, because I'm very much into color. So I sort of put more color into my artwork than is in reality.
Although COVID has shut down art galleries, that won't stop Williams from showcasing his talent anytime soon. Live from the Esplanade on the Charles River, I'm Chris Lewa. From Norton to Nesson, Suffolk University alum Adam Pellerin works a job that a young sports fan could only dream of, covering the teams that he grew up admiring. The former college baseball player took some time to talk about his journey in sports media and how to succeed in a market like Boston.
Covering news, it's fast-paced, there's a lot of adrenaline. Playing sports growing up, I like that aspect of sports, to experience that in a workplace environment. That's what attracted me to it.
In a passionate sports town like Boston, Pellerin spoke about how to keep your fandom out of your journalism.
You have a job to do, you have a story to tell. As a fan, you don't want that story to be slanted. You don't want it to be a fantasy version or a Disney version of what the story really is. You want the real story. To do anything outside of staying impartial and telling the real story, it does fans an injustice.
So what advice does he have for young journalists preparing to enter the real world?
Stick with it. Be willing to travel. Be willing to move, market yourself, get on every social media, get yourself out there. I think that's the, and of course, make contacts along the way.
Reporting from Suffolk University, I'm Chris Lewa. The restaurant industry has taken yet another hit during the COVID-19 pandemic, as this past Sunday, the new statewide order from Governor Charlotte Baker mandates the Commonwealth goes back to Phase 3, Step 1 of its reopening plan. Some of these new guidelines affecting the restaurants are no more than 6 people to a table, 90-minute seating limits, and reduced capacity in the restaurant. Joanna Shalek-Brisky is a manager at Legal Crossing, and she gives her thoughts on the new mandates and what restaurants can do going forward.
And potentially might drive up a little of our takeout and DoorDash business, but for at least on day one, hasn't significantly increased takeout, but it has decreased physical guests joining us in the restaurant.
For everyone, these tough times have led to some tough choices.
Some tough decisions have already been made. We have closed a number of our restaurants within our restaurant group. We have had significant layoffs. Unfortunately, a lot of those have hit the back of house a little bit harder than the front of house has.
With nearby theaters like the Paramount and Opera House closed for the foreseeable future, which would bring in much of the business, Shalek Brisky says that without more PPE loans and government assistance, it is going to be tough for restaurants to stay open going forward. Reporting from downtown Boston, I'm Chris Sliwa.
On the NBA All-Star game?
I mean, I don't know if this is being talked about much, but I mean, the talent on Team LeBron compared to the talent on Team Durant was just completely unfair. I mean, Team LeBron had obviously LeBron, Curry, Damian Lillard, who was Giannis, I think Jokic too maybe. I mean, the Team LeBron was just way more stacked. Obviously, Team Durant had injuries. Durant himself didn't even play, which was kind of unfortunate. So it was tough to see the talent balance be quite shifted towards one way.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to have both, but unfortunately it's pick one. So I think I would go with Malcolm Butler. There's a lot of question marks with the Patriots secondary. Obviously, you still got Devin and Jason McCourty on the team. Still got former Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore. Patrick Chung is coming back from COVID opt-outs, but all those guys are getting up there in age. I mean, Malcolm Butler, he's not the youngest guy either, but I think he would have a bigger impact on the defense than Kyle Van Noy would have, especially with guys like Josh Uche and Chase Winovich, some young guys coming up, also Dante Hightower return. I think you might have a different opinion on that, though. Last year, you still got the Yankees, who are good year in and year out. Toronto's been stacking up on talent, so it's looking like the Red Sox might be finishing fourth in the AL East, but I think when there aren't very many expectations on the Red Sox, that seems when they seem to perform better than normal. So hopefully they can surprise a bunch of people this year.
Brooklyn Nets, I do not think they will make the NBA Finals this year, which is like kind of a big thing to say because ever since the James Harden trade, everyone has either said they're a lock for the finals or they're a lock to win it. I think if they don't go out and get a big defensive name to help them on the defensive end, which they have been horrible with lately, I don't think they'll be able to go deep in the playoffs this year. I just think if they continue to struggle on the defensive end, which they have been as of late, it's going to be tough for them because, I mean, we've seen in previous years in the playoffs with James Harden and the Rockets, teams just zero in on him and force him to win the game himself like he does throughout the regular season, which he hasn't been able to do in the playoffs. So at least this time around, he has KD and Kyrie to try and help him out. But I just don't think they will make it far if they can't get a couple nice defenders on the team.
Keep the losing streak going. Who knows?
Yeah, this might be the bad luck charm. You said you had a pretty good wild card weekend as far as looking at the games go. So we decided that we need your expertise now.
That's one way to put it.
What did you think about watching wild card weekend? Aside from losing these, for entertainment purposes only bets, I thought it was kind of a weekend of bad football.
I mean, the Chiefs Steelers game I didn't watch till the end. The Rams Cardinals game I didn't watch till the end. I only watched the Bills Patriots game to the end because my girlfriend is a rabid Bills fan, needed to watch the entire destruction. So I didn't watch the Buccaneers Eagles game to the end. So it was a not a good, enjoyable, entertaining week of football. That's for sure.